Hello everyone, and welcome. Guys, we made it to day 2 of YMS. I think we all need a round of applause for that. Cool. So look, as Mark said, we are doing 2 things today. We are recording a live podcast, and we are also, there has been intense competition behind the scenes from a load of startups who are desperate to become the Gen Z game changer of YMS. So we will be judging and crowning the Gen Z game changer at the end of this session. So lots going on. But to start with, I'm going to have a little chat with Joe and Vinay. Welcome.
Thank you.
So guys, you both, I suppose, represent media owners. And my question to you is, how do you think Gen Z and the demands of Gen Z and the dynamics of that generation have changed advertising in the last few years?
I think, first of all, thanks for having me, YMS. It's brilliant to be here. I think, first of all, I think the pace of change has never been quicker. I think 2 of the things that we've definitely seen are demand for authenticity. It's something we've heard a lot over the last couple of days.
Yep.
There was a study done by McKinsey, I think it was, that looked at the fact that 63% of Gen Z would rather see real people in artwork, campaign artwork, as opposed to celebrities. And that's something we've seen play out for sure across our digital screens and our sites with campaigns. I think the other thing I'd say is the rise in popularity of short-form content. So, TikTok hit, billion active users back in 2021. Seems to just keep building in momentum. And Gen Z spend on average like a hell of a lot of time. I think it's just under an hour on that platform. But fortunately for us, with out of home, it sort of thrives on and uses short-form content. And TikTok themselves have actually seen the synergy between the 2 mediums, and they've launched a solution called Out of Phone, which basically enables brands to use both mediums, so run exactly the same campaign on mobile through the TikTok platform, and then broadcast it live across digital billboards. And I think, sorry, very long-winded answer, Vinay, but I think that sort of speaks to one other thing that we've seen, basically, which is a demand from Gen Z to ensure that we're delivering more sort of engaging, captivating campaigns in general.
Cool. Vinay, what have you seen from a Channel 4 perspective?
Well, it's hard to disagree with any of that. Look, the challenge of fragmentation and the challenge of trust. So I'd ask an open question, is like, how long can it continue? So like you're seeing atomization of all these individual kind of threads. There's a significant lack of trust, authenticity. Where does it end?
Gosh, that's quite a tricky challenge to pose. We'll see if any of the startups can answer that. But actually, you guys, in representing media owners, as you do Deceaux and Channel 4, do you feel that media owners and you have a responsibility to sort of support and nurture the startup and innovation ecosystem in your space?
Yes, but like I can swing it back to kind of like the role of traditional media and our role in kind of attracting Gen Z. Like as a TV platform, TV is a cultural institution. Channel 4 specifically owned by the government. It's a social enterprise. It has an award-winning news show, which usually goes up in ratings at times of national crisis. And we had record viewing during the pandemic, and that attracts lots of young viewers looking for trusted, independent, editorially curated news. So the role of like editorially crafted messaging and communication, I think, is super important in that super fragmented world. What we're specifically doing with that in terms of our startup outreach is we think, well, as an investor, Channel 4 is investing in many early stage startups, which I lead part of that activity. We're trying to think about carefully how we create more access to companies to secure funding from us and others, because we don't generally work by ourselves when we make investments, and that's a mission we have, and some of that will lean into things that are targeting Gen Z.
So Vinay, I think what you're talking about there is your Channel 4 Untapped program. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that? Because people might not know.
Yes, look, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, like 8 or 9 years, and you can source out, if you're an investor and you're part of the investment ecosystem, you can sort of sit back and potentially wait for the presentations to come in and do a bit of research and read the press and look on read TechCrunch, right? That's one way to kind of source deals. We think there is a significant dislocation in the investment market, which prevents certain kinds of founders to get to that first meeting way before the first check. It could be that the ecosystem is highly networked, based around London, based on a certain type of profile, maybe a certain kind of socioeconomic profile, and we think that's a barrier for innovation. So Untapped is our effort to try and look at that dislocation kindly, I'd say, and make changes to say how can we change this, because I think it's leading to a lack of innovation.
I'd agree completely. I think as media owners, the scale of Channel 4 or Deceaux, where we reach, almost an entire population, I think it's important we use that reach as a force for good, and that the adverts that we're displaying and pushing out there, the marketing that we're pushing out there, is as representative of society as possible. Vinay and I both sort of occupy similar spaces within our businesses where we're responsible for helping startups to grow specifically. And I think, that's crucial too. These are the employers of tomorrow. We've worked with 9 unicorns that have come through the Nurture program that I lead, and collectively they employ, tens of thousands of people. But I think we owe it to smaller businesses as bigger businesses to give them a platform to scale. And it's not just down to us, but I think, we can help them, and we owe it to them to do so. But especially, as Vinay says, we need to think about where those businesses are coming from, who leads those businesses, and make sure that we diversify and focus on supporting businesses that perhaps, are led by founders that are otherwise marginalized or overlooked, as you say.
Just talking about founders, because we'll be meeting a handful in any minute now. What do you both look for when you meet founders or when you're talking to startups and thinking about how you support them?
Are you looking for a list here, Serena?
I doubt you have one,
Wish
Vinay,
list.
but give us a flavour.
So you could come up with a generic list and search the internet or ask ChatGPT. I think you've got to find a spark and a passion and authenticity. And I think great problems need solving, in my view. And sometimes some problems are easier or harder, or some people are copying other people's problems that they're being solved. But I like to see spark and authenticity around the problem being solved. I love a great problem. And the great problems are not necessarily, the next vitamin supplement that checks your microbiome, but I think about things like aging population, cost of living crisis, amortization of debt burden, teaching Gen Z or even younger people how to manage their money, teaching them how to invest in stocks. That would be good. All great problems to solve.
Cool. Quite a range there. Joe, what about you for Nurture?
I think, as Vinay's touched on, there are the standard things, right, that an investor that's perhaps investing capital would look for: product market fit, strong team, scalability. There's those obvious ones. I think from a Nurture perspective, the space we occupy is we help make startup brands famous by advertising on billboards and digital screens in public spaces. So for us, to have maximum impact, they need to be the type of company that can really, really benefit from what we can bring to the table. So I think, it needs to be a founding team that sort of really values the power of building a brand and the need to build a brand. And then the other thing I'd say is experience counts. So we love to work with founders that have built companies before, regardless of the success of that business. I think even if that business is folded, it teaches a lot along the way in terms of resilience. So we found the success rate of second-time founders is astronomically higher. So that's, I guess, another thing in the wish list.
Cool. Well, I hope for our startups who are here, you've got a bit of a flavour there of what Vinay and Joe are looking for. We are now going to move on to the next segment of our session, which is the pitches themselves. So Vinay and Joe, thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to take your judging seats. And this is how this next bit is going to work. We are going to have each startup come on stage and pitch for 3 minutes. We're then going to have 2 minutes of questions from Joe and Vinay, and then we'll move on to the next and move on to the next. So this is going to be fast-paced, all systems go, high energy, but at the end, there will be someone going away with a very exciting trophy that is somewhere that everyone is wanting. So to start off, please welcome to the stage Oliver from Bulbshare, who's really changing the game when it comes to AI customer collaboration. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ollie from Bulbshare. We are a high-growth company that is leading the way for consumer collaboration and working with some incredible clients. There's my front slide. Right, now we can get going. So, brands are shifting from selling products to forming relationships. Why is that? Let's look at the data. There's a shift happening. So, first of all, according to Nielsen, 85% of new consumer products fail. At the same time, over 92% of people trust recommendations from peers over traditional forms of advertising. So there's a shift in consumer trust. It's not all doom and gloom, however, though. At the same time, over 80% of consumers say they want to collaborate and be more involved in brands' decision-makings, creating an opportunity for those brands who are willing to truly collaborate. So what's the issue? Should be a simple fix, right? The issue is traditional approaches to research make it really hard to collaborate with consumers. First of all, they're incredibly slow. They're also expensive. They're also highly transactional by nature, with brands treating consumers as research participants rather than collaborators. Also, there's an issue of authenticity. Most consumer research is done utilizing the same consumer panel, so the same people, not necessarily the authentic customers or prospects that a brand is looking to engage with. So how does Bulbshare solve that problem? Well, Bulbshare's purpose is to enable everyday consumers across the globe to collaborate with the brands they love and the causes that they care about. And we believe there's two benefits of that. First of all, when you truly engage consumers in your decision-making processes, you've got a much greater chance of creating strong products, services, and marketing that have a really strong product-market fit. Secondly, when you treat consumers as genuine collaborators and co-architects, you have the potential to change your relationship with them so they become passionate supporters and advocates for the brand. And we do this for an incredible list of clients, as I mentioned earlier. So Bulbshare's approach at a glance, let me summarize it for you. So first of all, we build brands, their own dedicated community. It could be NatRep, could be category level, so let's say coffee drinkers, could be at a sub-segment level, Gen Z coffee drinkers, or it could be a super niche group such as creative baristas or opinion leaders or tastemakers. And we do that in over 40 markets, and we do it very fast. Secondly, once we've recruited those communities through our AI-enabled platform, you can have an always-on connection with them to collaborate with them in real time. Finally, through a combination of our great technology, our platform, and also our highly experienced team of researchers and community experts, we have a flexible servicing model which enables you to do everything from DIY through to full service support and everything in between. And we call our collaboration approach 360 collaboration. It spans the product life cycle. So we'll work with brands, enabling them to get closer to consumers in the moment, to do more observational research, to be more behavioral, informing things like their innovation processes. Secondly, we'll bring consumers in further, allowing them to solve problems and challenges for the brands that they're working with. that can go further and can deepen into things like co-creation, allowing the consumers to be true co-architects of the products and the services and the marketing that a brand is developing. And if you do all that, as I inferred earlier, you've got the potential for them to go on and generate content, ratings and reviews that help activate your brand when it goes to market. So we support brands across the product lifecycle. And to summarize, we're a horizontally integrated business. What that means is we will support multiple teams. Anyone looking to get closer to consumers, we solve that problem. And we do that across the product lifecycle from conception, so supporting innovation, all the way through to products going live with over 30 use cases. Good. That's me, and there's a video rolling in the background just with some extracts from our platform.
Thank you, Ollie. Vinay and Joe, have you got a question or thought, something you want to put to the team?
Thanks, Ollie. What makes BulbShare unique? Like, what would you say is your secret sauce? And can you describe the competition as well, what you see as the competition?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, we sit within the wider research industry, but we're not exclusively an insight tool provider or platform. Most of the companies in our space tend to be, vertically integrated. They do one thing, brand tracking really well, or I don't know, ethnography, whatever it might be. We've set BulbShare up to be a tool for the enterprise, to be a platform that can service all those different teams I mentioned earlier. And we're laser focused on customer collaboration as opposed to just pure insights, that more interactive relationship with consumers, not just give us your information, tell us what you think about, I know, blue versus red for the color for our new range.
And how do you get that customer interaction?
The customer interaction comes through having the community pre-recruited and connected to the platform. Most research happens on an ad hoc basis. So you say who the target group is of interest, and you go out, you find those people, they respond once, and then they're gone, and you're on to the next group of people. Whereas what we're promoting is a group of people who stay with a brand on that journey, and you can go as broad and as deep as you need to. So you can get all the way down to focus groups, workshops, co-creation sessions, as you get deeper into your projects. And projects inevitably throw up more questions than answers. They take you along the learning journey, but often create a need for further learning at the same time.
Great. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Ollie. Next up, we've got Martin from Zappa, who is creating a really exciting, immersive and experiential way to engage Gen Z. Take it away, Martin.
Okay, thank you very much. So, hello everybody, I'm Martin. I'm from a company called Zappa. We're an immersive platform and creative studio. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to kind of talk to you about tongue-in-cheek title of brand packaging. Is this the new in-home advertising? And so brand packaging has been around for a long time, but here at Zappa, we are passionate about creating immersive experiences because, as we've heard earlier, there's a lot of thought around this whole event around creating authenticity, allowing brands to talk about their purpose, but also connecting with micro-influencers. And we really believe that packaging as the brand's advertising space is a really key but unutilized part of that whole spectrum. It's in people's homes, it's on their desks, at work, but it's sat there silently. And now in this immersive age, we can actually use that to build more trusting and meaningful relationships with our consumers. So at Zappa, we're here to create those immersive experiences. And we love to play across many digital canvases, from the social media apps to web, AR to location-based activations, as well as augmented, virtual and mixed reality. But ultimately, we want to create memorable experiences that people fall in love with, because only at that point can we expect them to partake in or take part in the brand and talk to us. So that packaging, as I just mentioned, is an untapped media channel for many brands because it sits there silently. And there's lots of research out there that shows that the consumers are demanding change. Gen Z want to spend more or are prepared to spend more on sustainable products. They don't know what sustainability credentials are. And then people want more information on pack, they want provenance, and more important, they want experiences. And this video that will hopefully play.
Fanta's 2018 European campaign.
Do you mind if we
put
drop
teams
the
at the
audio
heart
on that?
of the-
Fantastic, thank you. This was a great example of, I think, connected packaging in action. And it comes out of Phantom. They ran a campaign across Switzerland and a couple of other small countries. But the objective was to engage with social media influencers on the social platforms and then drive them into retail to participate in the Fanta brand takeover, or the teen takeover, as they put it. And the objective there was really simple. Get people from social into store, but turn them into micro-influencers themselves, and then promote the brands to the wider audience. And the stats were phenomenal. They had 70,000 scans, but bear in mind it was in small countries, loads of hours of engagement, great data capture, and this was a really prominent campaign for them, but really transcended that social, retail, and then influencers themselves. So really, we see packaging as an owned media channel, which drives deeper engagement and more meaningful dialogue, helps brands amplify their purpose, and turn consumers into fans, but then turn the fans into their ambassadors and their micro-influencers.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. What do we think about that? Vinay?
Look, I mean, I really think you've executed brilliantly there. So well done. That Fanta thing is brilliant. So I've got quite a lot of questions, but the one I'll ask is, how easy is it to sell your proposition?
To sell the proposition to the consumer, or for us to sell it to the brands?
Brands, your business model, yeah.
Well, actually, there's a real movement in the industry at the moment, very dull but important. Barcodes, as we know them, are being phased out, and by around 2027, they'll be taken over by QR codes. So now we'll have that trigger point on the products themselves. So the likes of Nestle, Unilever, Mondelez, they're all looking at how do they harness this transition in a way that can help them to capitalize on that consumer engagement. And then also the EU are instigating digital product passports, which will start to roll out across different categories.
That's fascinating. So QR codes instead of barcodes is a marketing opportunity.
It's a really dull topic, but critically important. And any brands who can then harness that are going to really capitalize on that. First-party data capture and everything else.
You should make that part of your pitch.
Definitely.
I thought it was a bit too dull for this, but yes, it's a critical part.
We're dull investors.
Thank you, Martin. And thank you for not starting with QR codes. But what a cool way of sort of taking customers across different media channels. Cool. Next up, we've got Wayne from Resonance, who's really crossing the Rubicon of good quality AI-led localization and languaging services. So this is awesome.
Thank you very
Take it
much.
away.
Hello, everyone. So the topic of authenticity, I'm going to throw out the window, okay, just for while we're talking about this. So we're a languages services company. We offer all the traditional services. We're driven by people and powered by technology. We like to make sure that we basically provide any of our clients with purposeful linguistic content. We put that in 3 pillars. We have a consultation arena where we can evaluate people's content for them around how it's been localized and how accurate and ethical it is. We have a human linguistics piece where we have over 1,100 linguists in market that actually we can do a human-to-human process. But recently, with the advent of AI, we decided to sort of go on a little bit of an adventure and see how we could leverage it and whether we could create a symbiosis between human and machine. And it was a very interesting journey. We've tested a lot of AI platforms out there, and we've cherry-picked the best bits of each because the output on its own, as far as we're concerned, isn't very good. So we've created what we consider a unique process called Linguist in the Loop. So using our software stack, which is called Jerome, which is the patron saint of translators, we're now able to offer a lot more content versioning, especially in video, where Gen Z are all over video. That's the way they want to see their media. So we're able to do voice cloning, automated translation, subtitling, AI lip syncing, etc., but all with a linguist in the loop philosophy so that you get the accuracy that you're after in your content production. Rather than talk about it, I'm going to show you it. So this is English Terry. English Terry only speaks English. He's now known in his business as Multilingual Terry. This is a training video where he's in English talking about a SaaS platform. With his permission, we've voice cloned him. We've translated him into 3 languages. We've relayed the VO over it, but we've also lip synced it back to Terry.
Once we have customer approval, it's now time to deliver the variants from tras la aprobación del cliente, entregamos la variación del sistema. La Zustimmung des Kunden Abweichung liefern. Une fois approuvé par le client, nous livrons la variance du système.
So from an ROI on this and from a use case, especially in social media, time saving is like hugely important. It's 75% quicker. It's around 90% cheaper. We can run the process in 48 hours. You don't have to set up for sound studios, recruit talent, pay usage fees. All of that can be removed. And with the linguist in the loop system, you're getting as good an output as you can by utilizing those AI systems. I'll give you another example. Again, for social media, we feel this is perfect. 15-second social media video for H&M. This was the original source copy.
What does
Father
spring
Sublime
mean to me? Means light. Change is the most important thing.
So that was supplied to us in that format. We've done a video transcription, we've done the translation and the linguist in the loop. Because of no talent rights for voice cloning, we've just found an AI voice to put over the top and subbed it in German, but we've used a tone as close as we could match the original.
Was bedeutet Frühling für mich? Es bedeutet Licht. Veränderung ist das Wichtigste.
And one last quick example, just to show that it's not limited to one voice, multiple voices in a video. You can still apply the same treatments with different AI voices.
I have HIV, but I can't pass it on.
It's a fact. People with HIV on effective treatment cannot transmit the virus.
Pass it on.
And multi-layered treatment in Spanish.
Tengo VIH, pero no puedo pasarlo.
Es un hecho. Las personas con un tratamiento efectivo para el VIH no pueden transmitirlo.
So when you're trying to reach multilingual audiences in social and you want to make your budget go faster, we can run these treatments across lots of short-term content, which means you can reinvest that back into your creative or into other content channels. I'm Wayne from Resonance. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Cool. Guys, questions? I want to meet Multilingual Terry. I think you should get him on the pitch. Anyway, thoughts, questions?
Thanks, Wayne. Obviously, the rate of change in this world is like crazy rapid at the moment. So what's keeping you up at night at the moment?
Obviously, the news of deepfakes everywhere. So there's a piece in this around going back to authenticity, going back to how people treat people's voices. We've done a lot of research on it. We're an ISO 27001 compliant company. We've been through all of the pieces. None of the data that goes through our systems is used in large language models or in training modules. So we're data compliant, and we like to think we treat it with the respect and the moral appropriateness that you should in this sort of area. So that the deepfake bit is the bit that worries us, because it's a service where we're trying to create a true symbiosis and use it in an appropriate way.
Thanks. And I guess my other question is sort of how do you acquire new customers, and how fast can you grow?
It's a really interesting question. We started this journey only about 6 months ago, and we've got traction and interest very quickly. Roll out across channel. We're talking to some interesting brands, and where we think we're going to grow quickly is because we're not all in on the AI side. We offer the human service as well. So in markets where you think it's going to be difficult, we can do the human VO process as well as the AI process. So you can mix and match your budget and really start to explore it in quite a deep way. So we think that's where we'll get most traction, so that it will get a more robust buy-in from people.
Cool. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. Great. Now, next up, we've got Liz from Creatives Universe, and she's creating the go-to place for to engage creatives, writers, and designers. Tell us more, Liz.
Hello, my name's Liz Mackey, and the company is the Creatives Universe. We're not just one thing, we're actually two things. We are a business, but we're also a movement as well, which is called Angel Whispers, because we give 10% of our profits to charitable causes, and we believe that everybody needs an angel whispering in your ear. Let me tell you about the company. This is the Creatives Universe. It's a platform which is a meeting place. It's designed specifically for creatives, designers, and writers. They can go on to the platform, find jobs, network, advertise themselves. Likewise, companies can advertise jobs and find these skilled people. We've got virtual networking, so a team building function means that if you have a project, you can go and grab 3 or 4 people from the platform and start to run your project. What's the problem? The problem is 80% of creatives are stuck across 5 US marketing platforms. What it means is that they're spread too thin, that they've scattered their energies, and that they're time poor. Here's Vita. She runs a flower shop called Flower La Vita in Torquay. She's got 3 main product lines. She's in her 20s. After spending the entire day providing orders for customers, she goes home, she'll cut some invoices, she'll probably eat something, go to sleep. What she's unlikely to do is update her website, write a blog post, start doing social media posts. It really does not happen. So the solution is a dedicated platform for creatives, designers, and writers. We market you. No need for a website or for social media skills. This really has traction with students because students are wanting to establish themselves. They want to generate some cash. Don't need a website, just jump on the platform. What I've found is that creatives are not overly commercial. So one of the member benefits even that we're providing is education. So it's going to be education on intellectual property, running a business, marketing, social media, how to do videos. What we'd like to do is to become a centre of excellence for creatives to support you and your business or your side hustle. Come and meet us at the Future Tech Village, and for students we've got a 50% discount.
Brilliant. Thank you, Liz. Vinay, what does that make you think?
I love a marketplace that's specialised and niche. It creates network effects and moats. How do you think about liquidity? What's the minimum number of people you need to create transactions on your platform? And have you got that right already?
The minimum number of people?
To create, specifically creatives.
Well, we actually launched our company last month, so we're really small. I mean, ultimately, this is a really scalable business. And I think the thing is, from my point of view, what I'm concerned about, what keeps me up at night, is the fact that we've given away the crown jewels, is that all of our creatives are sat on 5 servers in Silicon Valley, and we are probably the most creative nation in the world. And I absolutely believe that because, 25% of the music played all over the world is British. There's a reason for that because we are creative and we're a melting pot. So I'm absolutely passionate that we bring back the data to this country, and when we've got the data, we know who everyone is, what they're doing, and we can start to use the data in creative ways. I hope that answers your question.
Well, I wasn't like where you are today, but how you think about that number going forward, like a minimum number you need. But you don't necessarily answer that. It's just that's an important question
This will grow over time. At the minute, we've got small numbers, but this is totally scalable. So it can be, my website is based on another website, which is a £10 million business. So there's no reason why this business can't be a 10 million or a 100 million business. Absolutely. But the fact of the matter is that creatives don't earn a lot of money. And this is about abundance. So if I can help people make a little bit more money, that means that they have freedom and choice that improves their lives and the lives of their families.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Liz. That was great. Cool. Now we have Gifted, who have found a really interesting way to connect brands and storytellers. Come on up.
Hello, nice to meet you all. My name's Tom from a company called Gifter. I'm the co-founder. We started Gifter during the pandemic. We noticed a massive opportunity in the fact that brands were spending a lot of money with macro and mid-tier influencers on a basis which was more controlled. And it meant high risk to brands that they wanted to work with. And it also meant that the storytellers couldn't really be storytellers. We also noticed a huge amount of micro and nano influencers that wanted to be introduced to brands, but they didn't know how to be introduced. We quickly found out when we did research that brands by themselves, when they worked with these influencers, micro and nano space, were only getting 10 or 20% post when they sent gifts out. What we wanted to do at Gifter was find a unique way in which we could drive efficiencies and authenticity in the best way possible. At Gifter, we've driven this quarter 92% post rate across all of the activity that we do. We do this in quite a unique way, but first is to make sure that selection is at the forefront, making sure that you choose the right influencers for your campaign, making sure they sign up so there's no wastage. We have a very simple model. If the influencer loves it, they share it. If they don't love it, they tell us why they don't like it. So there's a value exchange. If they don't do anything, we remove them off the platform. It's simple. It's word of mouth marketing at its very best. Personalization and fulfillment is also a key part of our business. You have one opportunity to win an influencer over on a seeding basis. Make sure that package is perfect for them. Personalize it, make them feel loved. At Gifter, we do all the fulfillment, distribution, and personalization of all the products we send out. It doesn't matter if it's 50 products or 5,000 products. We have warehousing, enables us to fulfill any kind of line of products. If it's trainers, if it's cosmetics, if it's chilled or frozen food and ice cream, we can distribute it straight to their door, making everything as easy as possible. There's no point doing anything unless we have clear objectives in everything we do and make sure we track every single piece of content, allowing us to understand what the return on investment is to each brand that we work with. Feedback is also fundamentally the most important thing we do. The influencers we work with, they're not just creatives, they don't just create content, they're consumers. They give us a huge amount of feedback, telling us all about what works and what doesn't work, and what they want in the future. And it's that feedback that enables us as marketers to work out what we want to do moving forward, but also allows the brands to be better as well. Consumers, not all 100% of the consumers love the brand and products, nor do 100% of the influencers. And we need to harness this information to do better in the future. It looks like my clicker's not working for some reason now. Not sure why. Anyway, we wrap everything together and we make sure we drive the very best results for each client we work with. I do have a case study that's for Dove right now, but it's not coming up. 2,000 influencers, drives over 3,000 pieces of content, nearly 8 million impressions, and we're constantly gathering more and more data on every client that we work with. Here we go, sorry. Right now, it's enabling us to drive a scaled channel that basically allows us to compete with a lot of other channels on your marketing plan because the return on investment is so great. What we're finding is the best opportunities with influencers between 1,000 to 5,000 in size. They have 1 degree of separation between them, which is enabling us to drive the best performance across all of the campaigns we're working with. We're working with Kellogg's, we're working with Unilever, we're working with Nestle, and we're working with lots of other companies within the consumer space in order to drive the best returns we can for them. Thank you very much. Sorry, my presentation didn't come out for us now.
Do you think?
It's really interesting. I think Yeah, definitely. You know, we've heard a lot, and how people want to buy from real people. I mentioned it earlier, so I think it's really interesting. And well done for not getting flustered with the clicker. That's really annoying.
Come on, please.
I just had two questions really. One is, can you talk to us about the revenue model?
Of course.
And then the other is, how do you maintain the lifetime value of a customer? And I mean the person customer as opposed to the dove.
Oh, the influencer.
Yeah, the influencer.
Really important. Okay,
Yeah.
so the revenue model is based on the brands booking a certain amount of campaigns with Gifter throughout a year. We work on a Gifter credit system, which enables the brands to buy a certain amount of influencers, and then we split them up over strategies based on themes throughout the year. Usually the brands, they would start off with 100, most go up to 500 very quickly, 1,000, 5,000, and we strategize those send outs throughout the whole year for them. In terms of revenue, we did 250,000 in our first year. We did 550 in our second year. Last year, we just broke the £1 million mark.
Yay.
Due to do 2.5 this year on nearly an 80% net margin and an EBITDA of gone from 30 to 60% this quarter. We're lean, we're profitable, and we've found a real gap in the market. But to answer your other question, with influencers, we're constantly finding new ways in which we can adapt and basically bring influencers together for campaigns that are specific to them and their needs and wants in the future, and making sure that we also, if they really do love the brand, we bring on brand ambassador campaigns that enables them to work with the brand on an ongoing basis as well.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Right, we're on our last startup. Thank you, Tom. You hand it to next person there. These guys, Audio Mob, have not only cracked how to get audio advertising into mobile games, but they also have a team dog. So I think that deserves a round of applause. Come on up, Audio Mob.
Sorry, I didn't bring the dog. Hi, Dean from Audio Mob. Great to meet you guys. And if you're wondering, orange is our brand color, but not here to talk about orange. Here to talk about the power of audio. To start off, just right at the beginning, how audio has the power to change minds, change feelings, change chemicals in our body. 96% of brands that include audio into their identity are more sought out by consumers. But don't believe me, let's see how you feel after these videos.
Did you put sugar in this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, doesn't really look like he wanted sugar, but let's see how you feel now.
Did you put sugar in this?
Yeah, I did.
All right, so I think you want a little bit more than sugar. But anyway, 75% of people, though, are watching videos without the sound. You've taken all the time, the energy, the effort. And are we going to the next slide, guys? I was just back one. Yeah. And IAB standard for listening to audio is only 10%. So I don't know if you've listened to something at 10%, or you're driving in your car, the radio's on mute, or you didn't even realize Spotify is on. Those impressions are being counted. So I've asked Ollie to organize for us to play something at 10%, if you don't mind, Ollie. Kind of hear it, all right. But now Audio Mob, thanks Ollie, has developed and patented the technology, the world's first iOS and Android volume detection technology. We only play ads above 30%. Go ahead, Ollie, play for us. Nice and clear. Thanks, Ollie. Now bring that all back to mobile gaming. Mobile gaming is the fastest growing sector into entertainment. Over 3 billion global mobile gamers, over 30 million UK mobile gamers, majority being Gen Z. I know we're here at a Gen Z conference. But anyone played mobile games? You guys played mobile games? Familiar with video ads? Kind of intrusive, kind of not nice. Want to make you throw your phone into the ocean. We are non-intrusive in-game audio ads, bringing this all kind of back together. We play while the user continues to play the game. If the volume's not at 30%, we won't play it. Over 63% play with volume over 30%. With 100% audibility, these are just a few of the brands we've already worked with. And this huge audience, and I'm going to give you an example right at the end just to kind of all bring it home. Thanks, guys.
When the lights go dim. This is Eliza Rose and Calvin Harris with their brand new single, Body Moving. But he's moving like no one so well. Oh, tell me when the moon comes up. Body Moving by Eliza Rose and Calvin Harris. Click the banner to follow and listen now.
And you get rewarded at the end. Thank you.
I think it's great. It's always great to kind of make use of existing inventory, right? So, and build on existing behavior. I'm trying to think what question I've got. Again, selling. Like, is it easy to sell?
Relatively. Mobile gaming tends to have this bad rap. I think the video ads gave it a bad rap. Also, video ads are mostly other games, promoting in games that if you play. So we've actually exclusively now only working with brands. So we are changing the narrative. But, you know, when chatting to agencies, when chatting to brands direct, it's a clear, easy to understand kind of product. And it makes sense on a win-win-win. Win for the gaming developer because this drop in retention they get from the video ads, they're not getting. From the user is not annoyed. They're more likely to want to listen. Only 5 to 10% skip our ads because we have a skippable option as well, but only 5 to 10. So you imagine 70% skip YouTube ads. And then for the brand,
I think you're solving a massive problem. It's like you're playing Clash of Clans and then you're seeing Battle Royale come on in the middle of the game. That's the last thing you want to see, right? So
absolutely, exactly.
All right, got it. Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Thank you. So we've met everyone now. Vinay and Joe, I'm going to ask you to confer, and in very shortly, we'll ask you for your winner. But whilst you do that, I'm going to invite you all to come and join us at the Future Tech Village, which is literally just outside. And you could come and meet all these guys and a whole load more of amazing startups and innovators. So please do join us. Come and date them. You can have chats with them. You can get their number. You can find out about the exciting stuff that they're doing. And really hope you've enjoyed YMS today. Thank you. Right. Joe and Vinay, pressure's on. Do you want to come up to the stage? Tess, I think they're like adding up all their different scores because they've all got a very, very highly scientific way of coming up with the winner. Doing all right. But a huge round of applause and thank you to all our startups who pitched today. You guys have been pitching relentlessly and have done such a good job to just tell the world how brilliant you are. And it's wonderful. And we at CoCubed are so proud of all of you. Thank you. How you doing, Joe and Vinay? Coming all up? Getting there? All right, we'll give you a little bit longer. Does anyone have any questions from the floor or anything that's really sparked your interest or that you just have to say, otherwise you'll shout it in the shower later? Yes, question.
I have a question for Wayne, is it? Yeah.
Skill like that, okay, all right.
Hi. So I thought your app was really, your platform was really interesting. How do you combat languages that are tonal as opposed to European languages?
A really good question. We got asked that yesterday. And in the AI language world, to understand AI languages, they're mostly built out of English code. So Asian languages, especially Arabic, are very challenging when they come straight out of the machine. So when we have our linguist in the loop philosophy and we're doing it via the translation and then as a voiceover afterwards, they sit in there and it's a bit like graphical equalizer. So we're constantly playing with the natives telling us whether it sounds good or not. I won't lie, the Asian voices are not perfect, but they're getting there, and this is evolving so quickly. With the voice cloning, that is just brilliant because all of a sudden that plays more on the tone of the voice rather than actually the AI piece. You're getting a lot more natural sounding voices in the voice cloning world, but again, that comes with a permission and a morality piece.
Thank you. Very good question. Quite techie. Thank you. I think you guys are ready to crown the winner. Coming up, Joe and Vinay, please tell us who your Gen Z game changer is.
So I think first off, we just wanted to say well done, everybody. Like you delivered some amazing pictures today, so well done everyone for participating. And then we just had a couple of special mentions, really. So the first one is so this is runners up, I guess. First one is for Gifter. The numbers speak for themselves. Like you've got a really sort of impressive rocket ship of a business there. So congratulations. And then also for Resonance, who we just heard from, I think, the growth that you've experienced and what you've built in a very short space of time is really, really, really impressive. And I think, of all the demos we saw today, then your product demo was super impressive. So well done to you guys.
But it's a tough call. This is my Oscars moment.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So, look, it's a tough call, but I think we're going to give it to Audio Mob overall. I think that's a really clever... That in-game interruption is a right pain in the... I'm not allowed to say it, but you know what I mean. And I think that's a brilliant way to... You're in the slipstream of potentially quite a lot of revenue. So well done.
Congratulations, Audio Mob. Woo!
You get no out of the money.
Thank you very much. Oh, all right. We have to do a photo together. All right, one more photo. Thank you, everybody.